And now, live from the Palmer Times studio in Palmer Ridgeway, a special edition of the Ridgeway Review starts right now. And now, live from the Palmer Times studio in Palmer Ridgeway, a special edition of the Ridgeway Review starts right now. And now, live from the Palmer Times studio in Palmer Ridgeway, a special edition of the Ridgeway Review starts right now.
Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just Dapper here with your special edition of the Ridgeway Review tonight. Before we get to the topic of the war and all, we would be covering some things that have been happening. On Thursday, May 16th, the state Senate passed articles of impeachment against Attorney General Ticky. We will summarize all 4 of the articles for you. Please note that all of these are just allegations and are yet to be proven. Article 1, Unethical Conduct. Article 1 claims that Techie appointed Stixa to be special counsel, even though he had a personal bias against the, quote, subject of an investigation he was assigned. In our 30-minute interview with Mr. Stixa, sorry guys, he said himself that he had 0 political motivation whatsoever. Stixa just believed that he was doing his job that he was appointed to do. His personal bias had nothing to do with him being a special counsel whatsoever. Article 2, Unethical Conduct yet again. Article 2 specifically mentions that the state attorney mandatory morale being at-willed after, quote, engaging in a line of questioning within the bounds of his duties as an officer of the Senate and a member of the committee thereof. This is speculation, and no one is completely aware of the reason that mandatory morale was at-willed from the Office of Governmental Affairs. Number 3, Maladministration. Technique negligently allowed multiple cases against public officials to default in the Superior Court. Article 4, Obstruction of Investigations. Techie allegedly failed to provide materials demanded by the Senate through subpoena. Article 3 is the only valid impeachable allegation here, and the Senate also failed to give the Attorney General a hearing at all to even defend himself from such allegations. We also must make you aware that the fact that Mandatory Morale wrote the investigations report on the Sorry about that. The investigation report on the investigations into Techie, which largely determined how these articles of impeachment were written. The Palmer Times is unable to confirm the author of the articles. With Mandatory Morale's bias against the Attorney General under his political prosecution, he has been incredibly loud about this, and it is not shocking to see that this could be political motivated. The articles of impeachment passed Thursday night with 5 ayes out of 5 senators present. Senator Timbowalk was the only senator not present. The Ridgeway Supreme Court has docketed articles of impeachment and will announce more about the impeachment in the near future. The Palmer Times will continue to keep you updated on the impeachment of Attorney General Techie. And now, the war between the state of Ridgeway and Firestone. The declaration of war has been described as a defensive war. The state senate has acquired an image alleging that the state of Firestone would begin military operations on May 20th, 2024. Our reason for declaring war was to get ahead of them. The war was overwhelmingly supported by residents and government officials, with 85% of residents wanting a war of the 500 fleet polled. A state of emergency has been declared by Governor Matrix, and the State Guard has been deployed. Residents of the state of Ridgeway have been advised to avoid leaving their private property except for critical purposes. LEOs have been advised to be on the lookout for the purchase of firearms and storage on accounts being unlawfully promoted. Thursday night, registration for the draft has opened by order of the governor. Those who register are subject to be called to duty in the State Guard during the times of war in accordance to the Draw Them to War Act, passed and signed by the governor on May 16th. We highly encourage you to register for the draft if you have not already, in order to fight for your state. On May 18th, Senator Timbowalk was drafted into the State Guard, being the only elected official other than Vince Vant, the commander of the State Guard, to serve during this time of war. At this point in time, Ridgeway Goods & Co. is giving out an M1 to anyone with an AR-FLID for self-defense. You can open up a ticket in their server to claim this M1. The link is in the live chat at this moment. Alright, we will now be moving on to our interview here. Mr. Mandatory Morale, hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks for having me. Um, Before everything starts out, I'd like to address some comments that you made in your introductory report that are just completely false and misinformation to the people of the state. First of all, Mr. Techie did have a hearing. How else could he have failed to provide things to the Senate if he didn't have a hearing? He just failed to provide materials to subpoena. He was asked over 50 questions and testified extensively to the nature of his maladministration of the Justice Department. Um, Furthermore, maladministration is intentionally defined as a very big word. So while maybe only one of the articles explicitly says maladministration, actions such as appointing an illegitimate special counsel would fall under the wing of maladministration, even if it's titled as negligent conduct. I think the fact that the Senate unanimously voted to impeach him is indicative of the will of the people to hold Mr. Techie accountable. He has prosecuted many public officials on things as low as misdemeanors. He has used his power to subpoena people in the past, and he has gone virtually unchecked throughout his entire time in office. So this is the Senate, and obviously the Senate's representing the people. So this is the people of the state of Ridgeway saying this won't stand anymore, and someone has to hold this man accountable for his corrupt and prejudicial actions that have no place being anywhere near the office of the Attorney General.
Right. Well, about that misinformation, I'm just reading off a script. You can complain to Timbowalk later. Anyways, any specific instances you'd like to bring up during this interview of grievances against Techie you have? What inspired you to bring up these articles in the first place?
Well, this isn't articles of me versus Techie. This is articles of the people of the state of Ridgeway trying to hold a corrupt government official accountable. And the report, the 25-page report that the Judiciary Committee released on their extensive investigation that took over a month, they interviewed many people. They subpoenaed many messages, dozens of hours, and like pages worth of interview transcripts. The result of that was these articles of impeachment against Techie. The result of that was, hey, this man, this Attorney General, did things that are inconsistent with the high office he holds, and he has to be held accountable. So whether it be him letting public servants have to pay out of their own pocket and shell out money because he couldn't be bothered to defend them, whether it be him appointing a special counsel with a clear prejudice and bias against someone that had to recuse because of how biased he was against somebody who was prosecuting, whether it be him at-willing someone 10 minutes after questioning him in a Senate session. It's just a pattern of behavior that shows that this man is not able to hold one of the highest offices in our state and cannot be trusted with the power he has.
Well, clearly between the two of you, there's been a bit of a back and forth with each of you going on against each other, and I think that each of you may have something against each other. So, to what would you say to Techie right now if he were here?
I would tell him that he should resign. No official in the state of Ridgeway has ever. This is actually the first impeachment trial in the state of Ridgeway because every official in Ridgeway history who's been impeached by the Senate has had the dignity to resign from their office. They've seen the writing on the wall and they've said, "I'm going to resign." Trius resigned, and all the other judges and justices and officials in the past who've ever been impeached by the Senate have resigned when their time has come because they recognize that if the Senate is telling me that the people have lost their faith and confidence in me, I should resign. And it's Nixon level that this man hasn't resigned yet. He should see the writing on the wall. He should see the will of the people, and he should leave with dignity before the Supreme Court convicts him.
Uh, well, you say no one's ever resigned. Well, everyone who's
No?
been impeached has resigned, rather, I should say.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Zhao didn't resign, but that's
Yes,
that.
he did.
He did?
Yeah, he was impeached by the Senate and he resigned as lieutenant governor.
I see. Right. Well, you say that it's the Senate's will of the people to do this, and that maybe the fact that he's not resigning believes that he thinks that he genuinely didn't do anything wrong. Do you think he's just blind to see that, or do you think that he knows that he did something wrong?
Well, I think it's pretty indicative that every single official that's been impeached in the past has resigned. Mr. Techie knows that he did something wrong. That's why he had to call Clifford out of retirement, one of the brightest
Free
legal
back
minds in our
shot.
community, to try to defend him. Clifford isn't a lawyer you hire if you're innocent. Clifford's a lawyer you hire if you're guilty and you're trying to get off. So I mean, if he was truly innocent, it wouldn't be hard proving his innocence. But the fact that he's going all out and hiring a crack legal team shows that he has something to hide, and he's scared because he knows he did something wrong, and he knows he's going to be held accountable for it.
I see. Um, and many people are calling in and sorry, many people are calling into question the validity of these charges and are questioning the Senate's motives behind this. What do you have to say to them?
I'd have to say that there's a 25-page report they could read that has grounds for every single charge, and if they find a single word in that report that isn't factually true, I'll eat my own words. But until someone finds anything in their report that is not the truth, then the report stands and the article stands because the articles are the truth. The report that was the base of it is the truth. And Mr. Techie did do these things that warrant impeachment.
Wow. Okay. Listen, I don't got any more questions for you. You want to say anything else?
Yeah, well, I mean, don't you have any questions about the war?
Oh, right. Yeah, this script, I'll tell you, really hate it. War. What do you have to say about that? That
um,
report you got of the intelligence, their plans. I mean, wow.
what?
Yeah, I'm gonna
What
kill
report?
myself. Oh my God. Oh, I'm depressed. I'm not
Um,
qualified to be doing this right now. I'll tell you that. I'm. Just start talking, mandatory. Say
yeah,
words.
I'm good at talking. I was just gonna say that we were actually trying to reach some negotiations with Firestone on like actually scheduling war battles, and then their governor just went out and blamed Ridgeway like mid negotiations. Like me and him were so close to coming to like, hey, maybe we invade you and then you invade us, and that's how it works, and make it fun for everyone. And they decided to pussy out and say wham wham Ridgeway, and just be pussies. So if they're gonna be pussies, we're not gonna go and give their dying 2005 game any more activity because why would we do that? So, my message is just let them come. Let them come and try to blow up our cars and shoot our citizens because we have the best National Guard in the entire Rose State community. We have the best trained law enforcement officers in the entire community, and we will repeal any Firestone invasion. We will repel them, and we'll send them packing back to their shitty city. We'll send them packing back to creepy Fedora Master. We'll send them packing to Epstein Island. We'll send them packing back to their cabal of, psychic, Illuminati overlords, and we'll send them packing. That's what we'll do, because that's what we do here as Ridgeway citizens. We put Ridgeway first, and we fight against the enemy.
Yeah. Many citizens report that the Agarthans are actually supporting the Firestonians. What do you have to say about that?
That is false. The Hyperborean people, the people from beyond the Borea, have responded to the top guy's call. The top guy called them. I was in the real saucer when the top guy sent the call out, right? Top guy was sitting right next to me, right? He was like, he told me, he told me I was his top guy, right? And he said, the Hyperboreans, the Agarthans, the Ridgeway First Patriots, they all support us, right? They want Ridgeway to succeed, right? That's even, Clark County, which, is the most far right Mayflower group out there right now, has already pledged their undying support to us, right? They've already said that they'll go to fight and die for us, right? And so that's conspiracy theories, promulgated by the who. So
So you're actively collaborating with Hyperborea against Firestone right now.
there's no such thing as collaboration when it comes to Firestone, because I don't view Firestonians as people, right? So would you say that me and a hunting rifle collaborate against a cow, right, or a deer? No, no, but you don't say that, right? You know, Firestonians are ontologically evil, right? They're the embodiment of evil. So no action that we as a state can do against them is morally or ethically wrong, right? So it's not really counted as conspiring. It's just counted as taking them out to pasture, right?
Right. And would you say you
Dapper, you should put on the Gartic telephone right now.
are sweet
Put
Gartic?
telephone. You guys should all join.
Oh, wow. Many people of the alt-right extremist movement have been calling for TFD, or Total Firestonian Death, which means the invasion of Firestonians in their homelands, taking them from their homes and executing them in cold blood. Would you say that this is a valid response, and do you support that?
No, I mean, I just told you I don't consider Firestonians to be human beings, right? I consider them to be a pestilence, right? They're pests, right? They're not. You don't negotiate with Firestonians. It's the same
So
thing you
they're
would
you
negotiate.
think they're an inferior race?
They are inferior. Yeah, Firestonians are ontologically inferior, right? You wouldn't negotiate with rodents that came into your house and scurried in and started eating your food and sleeping in your house and fucking your wife, right? You wouldn't negotiate with them, right? You wouldn't negotiate with a rodent that made your wife divorce you and took the kids, and took your house and but yeah, you wouldn't negotiate with those type of people. You would kill them, right? Which is what we should do to Firestone.
Well, this has been amazing. I mean, thank you for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mandatory. Get out of here.
Dude, Gartic telephone.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Taken is next up on the interview list.
Hello, hello.
Taken.
Yeah, let's start off with this. The techie impeachment is actually a deep state operation. It was actually
Ah,
headed by
sweet.
Manager Morale here. Let's be real here.
False. Fake.
So who's Munch?
Munch is an employee of the Office of Government Affairs that came forward.
Munch was a former state attorney, actually.
Yeah, a former state attorney of the Office of Government Affairs.
Yep, and what is he
came
now?
forward.
Don't act like you don't know who he is now. Come on.
I'm not going to reveal someone that came and whistleblowed to me anonymously about
Yeah, so
about
this whole
bills and
impeachment
justice.
trial is like essentially just a ploy because Mandatory Morale got prosecuted and he wants his get back.
Sorry, I was actually exonerated on all charges because I was innocent.
Yeah, but you
So
want
I
your
would
get
admit
back though, don't you?
my get back. No, all I want, I'm all. I wasn't. I didn't sign any articles of impeachment, did I? The Senate passed the articles. I didn't vote on the articles. I have no vote on articles of impeachment. The Senate
Yeah,
decided
but
to
who
hold a
who initiated
account.
it?
the Senate Committee on the Judiciary, after impeachment, had submitted a resolution to direct
And
him
who
to.
solicited a state's attorney to provide these documents? It was you, wasn't it?
I didn't solicit anyone. They direct messaged me. I can show you our direct messages with Munch. They messaged me first.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the Munch account.
Yeah, it was.
Uh, hmm. Hmm. Okay. We'll see how it goes over, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think
All you're
what you're
doing
trying to
is
do is
throwing
cover face.
unfounded allegations right now with zero
Right.
evidence to try to muddy the waters taken, right? That's what you're doing.
Okay,
You know, you're one
muddy
of
the
them. You're one
waters.
of the Anti-Defamation League, lobbyists that's trying to
Right.
muddy the waters against the Ridgeway and Patriots, right? You're with the ADL. You're with the ADL. You're a bunch of, conniving,
You know what? You finish your
Mhm.
sentence. Come on.
No.
Oh, no.
I don't want to go
How about you
community
finish it?
room
Come on,
today.
finish the sentence.
No, I'm not going to get community room
Because
today.
the truth is, you solicited somebody who's a former state's attorney who had access to central processing. You solicited them. It's providing you these screenshots.
I
And if you
solicited
dig, if
nobody. They
you
provided
dig deep
screenshots of
enough,
the corruption of the Justice
if you
Department.
dig deep enough, and you figure out, and you look at the screenshots that were once on the Munch Code, and you look at the former state's attorneys, and you look at who Manager Morale's friends with, it'll eventually reveal itself on who it was. Not only did they not change their time zone in the screenshots, which was the biggest dead giveaway when you look at the former state's attorneys, is half of them aren't the same time zone. So, like, your assertion that this isn't targeted is wrong. And you're trying to save
What do you mean
face.
my assertion
And
that this
you're
isn't
trying
targeted?
to
Someone
essentially.
came forward to me. Mm-hmm.
So why wasn't this anywhere? Why wasn't this publicized? You're saying
It
somebody
was.
came forward to
It was
you.
publicized. There was
So
a Rospan article about that. There was a Palmer Times article
so
about it. Do you not
went
read?
to
Do you not have
Rospan?
literary-
I
didn't
don't
go to
read these
Rospan, man.
articles. Do you think I keep up with
Exactly.
Ridgeway
You're talking out of
news?
your ass.
I'm talking out of my ass.
You're talking out of your ass. You're
So
making
what
accusations without
state's
even doing any
attorney?
research.
First, you said it was a state's attorney, an active state's attorney. Then when I pressed you on it, you said, "Oh wait, you're right. It was a former state's attorney." So which one is it?
At the time, they
You're-
were an
you're
active state attorney. At the time,
No, they
didn't.
weren't. They held a
were.
different position.
No, they didn't.
All they had was access to central processing. That's all they had.
No, they didn't. They had other messages too. They also had messages regarding internal communications of corruption in the Justice Department, which was heavily publicized by Rospan, right?
Internal
And you didn't even bother to read
communications.
that.
That's cool and all.
Shut up.
Why would I need to read internal publications?
Why
So
would
why
you need
why
to
why
read
don't
accusing-
you as Lieutenant Governor
Ooh, this guy's a yapper.
step up and go, "Wow, I have this
Take it while I
whistleblower.
yap a lot.
Here's exactly what they said," and then suggest for them to come forward during trial.
During trial against who? Mr. Techie
The
is the sole
impeachment.
prosecutorial power of the Justice. Exactly.
For his impeachment?
You're-
Bring them forward. Bring them forward. Prove the
that's what
allegations.
he did. He testified.
In a
under the
Munch letter where
testimony,
he signed off as Munch
No, he had testimony, right?
to what? The Judicial
He-
Committee?
Yes, to the Judiciary Committee. He gave testimony. to
So
the
so
Judiciary
there's a
Committee.
record of
That's
who it was then.
substantiated.
So there's a record of who it
No,
was
there's
then.
no, he gave it under the Munch count because we're not going to make an individual bring himself forward and reveal his identity so the Justice Department can go on another tirade against them like they've done with anyone that opposes them, right? We're not in the business of putting citizens who come forward and whistleblow at risk, right? And any citizen in our state who wants to whistleblow about negligent conduct of any government agency can feel free to contact me and I will refer it to the committee and we will take action because that is what we did here. Someone came forward about the corruption and incompetence of Techie and we took action. And just because you're an investigator, just because you're a Techie defender, does not mean that what the Senate did to hold a government official accountable was not right. Mr. Techie has never been held accountable for his actions as over a year as Attorney General.
Well, what actions? You've only
interviewed-
labeled one action. And
We've-
most of
have
your
you read
okay,
the-
so what actions? Say the actions.
Did you read the articles of impeachment?
Can you just say the actions?
Yeah, sure. Mr.
Feel free.
Techie let cases on many, many peace officers default, and peace officers have to shell out of their own pockets because he failed to do his legal obligation to defend peace officers in civil trials. 1. He appointed Special Counsel Stixa, who has later recused himself from the case and resigned as special counsel because defense counsel filed a motion on how he was biased and prejudiced against Mr. Matrixock. He had to recuse and withdraw himself after being appointed to be an impartial special counsel by Techie, right? That's flat out wrong. That
So how are you expecting Techie to know every little bias everybody has? Shouldn't that have been on special counsel to admit to this?
It's on him to vet who he hires for special counsel, right? He's responsible for the actions of his employees, right? If he's going to hire someone whose whole job is to be independent and unbiased, he should probably make sure that person is independent and unbiased, don't you think?
So
right?
if your assistant goes out and shoots 3 guys in the middle of Palmer Boulevard, right? Are you reliable? Are you supposed to be able to jump at it and go, you're responsible for the same actions that he did? No. You're not supposed to know. You're not supposed to. It's physically impossible. It's physically impossible. It's physically impossible to know every single action anybody has ever done in their entire life or any bias. It's physically impossible.
There were publicly documented messages in the Ridgeway server. You can Control F Stixa, and you can find messages against Matrixock, right?
All right, ladies.
He didn't bother doing due diligence. He didn't bother to do his job.
Ladies.
Then it's recused himself. So just because you're glued to Techie's dick and you need a surgical fucking team to remove you from his cop doesn't
wait,
hello.
You wrote the entire report. You wrote the entire report yourself.
Ladies,
and you're arguing that you did
it. I'm gonna go rogue right now.
People
right here,
in
right
the Senate
now.
say that you do.
Stop
so what
talking.
is the true argument here?
I am being told that we need to moderate this. Can we please stop talking for just a moment? We are going to pass a talking stick. All right? So, ladies first, mandatory. You get 1 minute. I'm going to be moderating this.
No,
to summarize,
he's the one raising claims against me. He's the one raising claims against me, so he should go first. So I have the opportunity to respond, right? He's accusing me of something. He should go first.
All right, you forfeit your time taken. You get 1 minute.
Yo, so first off, hold on. Can we pause the time real quick? I'm gonna get Timbo to put something up on the screen. Yo, Lucas, never DM me in the middle of an argument ever again, bitch. All right, back to what I was saying though. Multiple senators, or sorry, I shouldn't say multiple. Certain senators have exclaimed that Mancha Morale was the one who wrote the report on Techie. No other senator has admitted that they wrote these articles of impeachment. Nothing that I've seen, and the people that I talked to who are Ridgeway nerds don't know who wrote these articles of impeachment either. They randomly just got posted and then voted on. So why else would we suggest that, we could trust my whistleblower? Then if you bring up a whistleblower, it's suddenly wrong. Then, hypocrisy in his statements. When I first pressed him about this, he decides to go a current state's attorney. Then it moved to a former state's attorney. Where's the barrier here? Like, we're gonna claim we're for the people and that everything we do is meant for the people, but yet I don't know a single citizen who's jumped up in arms to say, holy shit, let's impeach Techie. No, it's a agenda from the Senate. Like, come on. Can we use our brains? This is just completely stupid. The entire idea that there is some random whistleblower that wasn't solicited to come forward is wrong. I've been doing Roblox investigations, specifically in Ridgeway, for 3 years on and off. There has never once been a whistleblower where you have information on their former jobs that you must so randomly know. Mandatory Morale knows who whistleblowed, and he's just trying to save face. Because he knows that if this whistleblower came forward and they weren't an actual whistleblower, then they get charged, and so does mandatory. Let's be real here. Get charged or save face? Shit, I'd save face.
Can I talk, Dapper?
Yeah.
For an investigator, Mr. Taken is so unknowledgeable, it is criminal that he ever got a job in a police department to start with, right? There is no whistleblower protection law in the state of Ridgeway. I 100% know who whistleblowed, right? They told me who they were to establish credibility, but I am not going to go and blab the name of someone who came and whistleblowed to the Senate in confidence because that would just be opening up to prosecution, right? I have zero liability to prosecution, right? I was doing my job to receive and forward on something that someone forwarded to me, right? But a whistleblower has no protections in the state, right? In the real federal system, there's laws protecting whistleblowers. There are no laws like that here. So if I were to go and tell his name to anyone, they would be prosecuted and indicted, right, for coming forward and raising concerns about corruption, right? So it's first of all, it's insane how negligent you are about the own laws you enforce. Second of all, you said, "Oh, I don't see anyone jumping up in arms saying let's impeach Techie," right? I don't see anyone jumping up in arms saying Techie should indict XYZ, Techie should prosecute XYZ, right? That's why we have government officials. That's why we're not a direct democracy where people vote on every single action the government takes, because we have government officials who are supposed to take actions on the behest of the people, because government officials are in positions where they have more knowledge about things, right? So, first of all, no understanding about the law, no understanding about fundamental structure of government, very, very sad for a senior police officer, right? So, the Senate was investigating for months. You said, oh, these articles came out of nowhere. That's because it was a sealed committee meeting. That's because all these subpoenas of tons of the top Justice Department officials were sealed so they could provide information that might be sensitive so we could have a full picture of what was going on in the Justice Department. And that's why it took a month. That took over a month, right? The articles and report didn't just drop out of nowhere. They've been worked on by the Judiciary Committee for over a month in the investigation they've been doing. They were dropped out of nowhere because that's when the Senate Judiciary Committee said, okay, we've done all our investigation. This is the report. We're going to send it off to the Senate, and and the rules of the Senate rules say that once an impeachment investigation is finished, they must draft proposed articles of impeachment and send it. That is the rules of the Senate. So the moment Impedia sent a resolution to the Judiciary Committee and it passed the Senate saying the Judiciary Committee must investigate Techie for XYZ, it was the job of the Judiciary Committee to do this, right? You clearly, and you're not even trying. You have no knowledge of the law. You have no knowledge of Senate procedure, and yet you can think you can
All
stand here
right.
and be a talking head and yap on, right? It's sad.
All
All
right.
right, it's so sad that you can't come forward and say who did it. Come on. Who wrote the
Why would
report?
I?
Who wrote the
Why
report?
would I put some?
You're a
Why
public
would I say
official.
that?
You're a public official. Who wrote the report?
Yes.
You represent the people, so
The
tell
Senate
them
Judiciary
who
Committee wrote the
represented.
report together. The Senate Judiciary Committee, the senators of the Judiciary Committee wrote the
So
report.
why has nobody said that they helped write it?
Their signatures are on it. They said they wrote it. Their signatures are really on it. It's in
So
the document.
yeah,
They
that's
signed
like
the name on the
saying
document.
I signed my name at the bottom of an investigation report. That must mean I wrote it.
That's what it should mean. That means you approve of the content. That means you've taken part in the investigation. Does it not? I mean, that's
Okay. Taking
you're.
part of an
I mean,
investigation
do you sign
is
your
completely wrong.
Do you sign your name on interview? Do you sign your name on reports that you have no knowledge of? Do you sign your name on reports that you didn't write? Do you do that all the time? Because that sounds like
No.
negligence taken. Oh, so
Oh, so
okay.
come charge me.
There's
Come
signed
charge
his
me.
name.
Come charge me. Do it. I'm waiting. I've charged government
You
officials like
forget.
you for the last 3 years. Come charge me.
The Senate
Well,
can't
charge me.
people.
Okay, then
That's
go
the
submit
job
it
of
to
the
the Department of
Attorney General.
Justice. Go submit it to the Department of
Oh,
Justice.
yeah,
Go
because
to your whistleblower.
treating
Go
themselves
to your
so up.
whistleblower. Tell your whistleblower to do something. They're so upheld about justice. Tell them to come investigate me for misconduct. Do it. You want to uphold justice, yet the justice is only upheld when it suits you.
How is justice only upheld when it suits me? I've been in office for many, many months since last year. I've done investigations against many different departments. I've looked into every single complaint a citizen has ever submitted to me in my messages about something wrong is happening in our government. I have looked into it. No time a citizen has come up to me and said, I have a concern about XYZ going on in government, and I have not investigated and looked into it fully. Just the other day, a citizen came forward to me about concerns about Ridgeway State Police internal affairs, letting complaints lapse and drop and people go unpunished. And immediately I reached out to RSP Internal Affairs, I notified the Homeland Security Committee, and I made sure things were done. It's not just justice when it suits me, it's justice when it suits the people of Ridgeway. Techie is the sole prosecutorial power. the only person in the state who has the authority to prosecute. Should we not hold someone with that much unchecked power accountable? The answer is yes, we should. Because someone with that much unchecked power, who has never before in his entire 1 year tenure been held accountable, the power gets to the person's head, right? Which is why the Senate, elected directly by the people, have voted, we're going to hold this guy accountable, right? So you can stand here as much as you like and spout nonsense and be like, oh, indict me, prosecute me, right? But you have no understanding. You don't you yourself has proven this interview that you don't understand the law, you don't understand Senate rules, you don't understand any of this process, and it's just sad that you think you're a competent authority to talk on these things with zero understanding of it, right? It's just sad.
All right, well, when your state judge friend gets prosecuted, we'll see what happens. But until then, you can attack my character all you want, but I provided you arguments, and you responded to nothing.
You've provided zero arguments. I respond to everything
And
you
an,
said.
an
You
entire
provided zero
argument
concrete
is
arguments.
supposed to be responded to, even if it's factual. But yet the
What
entire
arguments
time you called
did
me
you
a Jew
provide?
baby and like
Arguments
some
did you
shit that
provide?
would get you banned and
What
whatever, bro.
argument did you provide?
But
What
like
argument?
again,
Name one argument you provided. Name a single
do you
argument.
want me to
you
go
provided.
back? Like we've been in a dialogue,
I've retorted every single argument that you've brought up.
right? While calling me a Jew baby or some stupid shit like that. Let's lock in. But okay. So what I'd urge you to do as Lieutenant Governor is to propose whistleblower laws that protect them. That way, when this happens in the
It's
future,
progress. It's in the Judicial Committee right now.
so in the future,
Already, it's in
when
progress.
this happens,
By the committee.
so in the future, when this happens, you can successfully put people at ease that you did not coerce, solicit people to break their NDAs and commit misconduct in the
There's
leaking
zero
of
evidence
sensitive
that-
information.
There's zero evidence. There's no leaking things and whistleblowing things to a committee designated to oversee the Justice Department.
But there's no
is
whistleblower
not
laws.
leaking sensitive information.
But there's a, did
That's
you
part of the
sign an NDA with the Department of Justice?
I didn't leak any information in the Department of Justice.
But you received it. It's the same thing that happened to Matrix. As much as he's
The news
repented for what he
received it.
did,
No,
that's
the
the big
news
that's
received it.
that's
I
that's
received
the
it, the
really
news
big that's the really big thing here. Matrix, as much as he's repented, as much as I think he's a better person now, did the exact same thing, where he was in a server with classified information that was under NDAs, and he received it willingly. You claim there's no whistleblower laws, so then how is this legal? You're saying that they went to a committee, but they weren't actually. They weren't under the committee.
committee
Do
has the
you have a
legal authority-
transcript from this person under oath? Do you have a transcript under
Yes.
oath?
Yes.
Who gave them the oath?
Responsibility. I can check right now. Do you want me to pull up the Senate server? I think it
Well,
was the Sergeant
I'm
at
just-
Arms of the Ridgeway
okay.
State Senate.
Sure. We'll stipulate that it was a sergeant at
Yeah,
arms.
the Sergeant at Arms of the Ridgeway. Sorry, no, the parliamentarian of the Ridgeway State Senate. if you
So,
remember.
did they provide this information on the Munch account?
Yes.
So, again, you could just say this is anybody, and then somehow randomly they have to be trusted, right?
Not anybody has the information that they brought forward and the screenshots that they brought forward, do they? Right?
Right. Sure. We'll say that. Sure.
What do you mean? Sure. That's
We'll just have to see what
you're
SBI
asking.
could come up with. We'll
Oh,
just have to see
sure.
what SBI
No.
comes up with.
Sure. Come after me all you want for trying to do my job and trying to help the Senate's job of upholding justice, right? The
I'm
Senate
not going
Judicial
after
Committee's
you.
job- that's what you've done this entire interview.
I never. Or okay, sure, right. I've made claims, but this surely isn't going after you. In no
You
way.
substantiated unfounded claims with no evidence behind it. That's all you've done.
I mean, you called me a Jew baby, and there's no factual claim behind that. So wham, wham, wham. At the end of the day, this shit Roblox. And I came on here to argue. That's all I did. That's all I came on here to do. So if you hold resentment for this little argument, it is what it is. But I think that would show who the true Jew baby is.
All I'm saying is that you come up here with no facts, no evidence, and you expect people to
So-
listen to you as legitimate. It's just sad.
Okay. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Great. Let's see. Let's see.
Cool. I
Right?
guess we will.
You come here and you accuse the Senate, the one body supposed to hold Techie accountable, of doing illegal stuff, right?
I mean,
With no
they have
evidence.
before. Senators have done illegal things before, have they not?
Yes.
It's the job of the people.
Yes. Everyone.
It's the
Cops have done
job of
illegal
the
things
people to
before. Are they saying that
question.
you're not?
It's the job of the people to question. You say you represent the people. You should be open and, quite frankly, not so very aggravated by these accusations. Sure, be
There's a difference
aggravated.
between
Be
questioning
aggravated.
government, right? And there's a difference between accusing someone of committing crimes and
So sue me for
accusing someone of
defamation, I
falsifying
guess. I don't know,
information,
bro.
right? No, I'm not, right? Because I'm here listening to you, right? I would have left because I have
But
better things to
you're not
do,
really
but no, I'm
listening.
here
You're
listening to you.
insulting.
All right. So we've just kind of fallen into argument rather than debate. So what I'm gonna
That's the
do
entire
is
point of
we're
the debate.
yeah. Well, there's an argument and there's a debate, and people are attacking each other's characters. I'm not gonna call out who's doing it, but I think everyone knows who's doing it. There's no one innocent here. I'm just acting impartial because I have to. So what we're gonna do is each of you will give a final statement, and we'll call it a night. So, Taken, you can go first.
All I'll say is if an investigation comes out, and whoever does it, and they eventually find that whoever provided these screenshots wasn't originally under a Senate Judiciary Committee investigation, and that somebody within the Senate Judicial Committee asked them to provide said screenshots or to provide said sensitive information so they could open an investigation. If none of this is true, shit, I'm wrong. Everybody's wrong at one point, right? But according to everything that I've learned and all the digging that I do personally, because I'm bored shitless, because this game is so boring. This Firestone War died in 2 days. It's boring, boring shitless. But if on the off chance I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If nobody comes out and they, if I get disproven, I get disproven. But again, the entire point of me being here is to argue and is to question the government like any other citizen that the Senate so-called represents. Now, whether this person did this out of spite or they didn't is another question. This so-called former state attorney, they are a former state attorney,
Yeah,
whether
you're
or
not
not they
getting
did this
in
out of
here, little
spite
bro. You need
will
to
have to be
dip.
found out. But
No, you're not
at the end of the
getting in
day, it's Roblox. I could get indicted, Morale could get indicted, and you can just hop off the site. It's not like it matters that much. But to my buddy old pal Lucas here, I still like you. I came on here to argue. Thank you for the amazing argument. I was not a big fan of you calling me a Jew baby. But hey, we'll see what happens.
All right, mandatory. You can give your final statement.
Thank you. I still love you, Taken. I'm still your Chief Justice in Melrose. If that's gonna go somewhere.
Hey, that's a low
but-
blow, bitch. That's a low blow. That's a low blow, bitch.
sorry,
Fuck off.
sorry, sorry,
It's a
Taken.
low blow.
Sorry, Taken. I'm
This
sorry.
is
I
like the
still love you.
Stephen A.
But,
This is like the Stephen A. show where him and LeBron argue 24/7 and they kiss at the end of the show.
we make out. All right.
No, sorry, I'm not Stephen A. Smith.
But yeah, I mean, Mr. Taken's whole claim can be his house of cards where his argument stands falls apart when you realize that Rosefan published the news and the report of Mudge before the Senate Judiciary Committee investigated, right? We started investigating because we saw this news article whistleblower come forward, and then we're like, hey, this is bad stuff. Let's investigate it, right? I mean, you can look at the timeline. You can look at when the Rospan article published. Mr. Stanley Labson, the chief executive of Rospan, just told me, what this guy's saying doesn't make sense. The article was published before you guys started investigating, right? And I can send you the times if you want. Rospan said someone leaked to Rospan, right? And for the record, the very small whistleblower protections that our state has applies to whistleblowing to media, right? So I think you can whistleblow to media sources. Correct me if I'm wrong. But whistleblowed to a media source, the media published it, senators saw it, and they said, this is wrong, let's investigate. And through the course of our investigation, we found a lot more than what was just alleged by much, which is why the Senate found it fit to launch articles of impeachment. I mean, I appreciate you coming forward and trying to set the record straight, but the Senate has been nothing if not transparent in this entire process to people. And if you or anyone else have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to me, and I can forward it to the appropriate chairman or senator. But thank you for coming up.
My big question for this closing statement is, earlier you said that it got reported to you, but then you said it got reported to our span, and then you investigated it. So how'd you find a whistleblower if they reported it to the media? Wouldn't the media want to protect their source?
It was a Munch account, right? It was a Munch account, and once they came to us after the media.
Oh right, sorry, I forgot. They hid behind an alt account. My bad. That's on me.
They didn't want to be
That's on
indicted by
me.
the Justice Department. They didn't want to be indicted.
Here and there, I
the
forget that
Supreme
this isn't Ridgeway 2 years ago. We didn't need alt accounts. Sorry. This
Court.
isn't the
Fine.
side owner administration anymore. Sorry.
It's sad. It's sad what the Justice Department has done in this recent administration.
Hey, I don't work for the Justice Department, but I know about their shitty ass audits they do so often. Now that's something to go talk about.
Yeah. I mean, and friends of yours have been victims of the Justice Department's maladministration. Iraqi taxi driver, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a OG PPD guy. Yeah.
Yeah, OGPPD guy, Iraqi taxi driver. He had representation from the Justice Department. His lawyer was from the Justice Department, and they dropped his case so badly that they found a default judgment against him, and he had to pay thousands of dollars to the Justice Department, someone that sued him because the Justice Department didn't do the legal job of representing him. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We're doing it to stand up for the citizens that have been left behind by the Justice Department, the citizens that have been pushed around by the Justice Department. That's why we do what we do.
Um, a lot to think about. I would like to have a lot more information about these kind of claims, but I can first-handedly say that I was going to get prosecuted. I still can. And that a certain state's attorney has employed the Criminal Investigations Division to audit the Palmer Police Department for so-called misconduct while handling my internal affairs case. All I'm saying is, it may not be Techie's fault, but it surely is somebody's. Now, whether that's the people under Techie, or I'm not going to say that. I don't think Techie's supporting this, but somebody in the Department of Justice is either leading to these default judgments because they're too worried about something else. They're too worried about prosecuting me rather than prosecuting somebody who actually needs it or representing a cop who needs it. And whether that's the fault of such a small or minimal amounts of members in OJA is a different question. Or not OJA, Solicitor General's office, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Aiken, you should hop on Gartic Telephone.
oh boy, that's gonna get a real racist that's a racist disco that. Let's be real here. But
Hop on.
yeah.
Let's do this.
But I think we gotta talk about the war here. We've gotta get a bit of a concurrent viewers here. I think the Firestone War's a bunch of sissies. I think the Firestonians are a literal bunch of sissies who got enveloped at one point and now they wear pink uniforms. That's my true honest thought about this. In fact, for the last, I don't know, how long has the war been going on? 48 to 78 or 72 hours, right? 3 days? It's 3 days, right, Morale? Right, Mr. Lucas?
Yes.
So the last 3 days, they did one attack and it was killed off in 20 minutes.
And
But
I mean, this is.
but then the governor employs us to go raid their game. We have to spend 20 hours to go get a gun, 5 hours to get a knife or something like that. Let's be real here.
I've actually been talking with the governor of Firestone and Firestone devs, trying to get it up so we can have guns when we go in their game to stage of war. But so far they've pussied out, which is kind of sad. But hopefully
then-
we get to work
But
with
but
something.
then tell them to drop Firestone V3 with the ACS gun system like they did before. On the ACS gun, I'll shoot on all of them. But I think the most recent Firestone attack was last night, in which I headed the force to take them down. There was a group of Roblox Japanese LARPers that when they turned on their mics, they sounded like the lightest kids I've ever heard in my entire life. Then if you go to PPD Greatest Logs in the Palmer Police Department server, the Captain Ahmed posted a screenshot of me and my forces after successfully taking these loser sissies out 30 minutes. It's easier to get a gun here than it is Firestone, so I asked, who's their governor again? Who's it?
It's Canadian law.
Yeah, sounds about right. That guy needs to, like, wake up and smell the roses. I'm not gonna go play Firestone, pay for a stamina game pass just so I can run around more. This guy needs to fucking get help. But in fact, I think he might, very well might, at one point be invaded by Firestone, in which I think the Palmer Times has a little air raid siren that they'll play just on the off chance that we get raided. I think they're going to play it right now.
The state of Ridgeway is currently under attack by the state of Firestone. Those in Ridgeway County unable to defend themselves and their state should take cover immediately. Those able to defend themselves should defend their homes and their state. May God be with you all.
Well, as we can see there with that, if we do get attacked, me and my little army of goons in the Palmer Police Department will be ready to take down these loser sissies like Super Mark V with Firestone Sympathizer.
Get to your nearest
Kill
construction
that
post
little guy.
as soon as possible. Move!
What
Move!
the hell, man? Are you a
How do you feel
state
about
guard?
Firestone Sympathizers, Mr. Lucas?
Well, the I have an image that I would like to share with you.
Oh boy, is it you executing a Firestone Sympathizer?
No. It is the work of the Senate that the Senate is doing right now. The Ridgeway State Senate on Ridgeway and Activities Committee has started to take action against Firestone sympathizers within our borders. If you can see those images there.
Is
And
that
they've already
Techie in the
subpoenaed
background?
multiple
In the first one, is that
fire-
Techie?
Yep.
So
Yep.
at least even if you don't like the guy,
We're
he's-
collaborating. We're
yeah, so
collaborating.
he's a big,
for,
he's a
for
big
the right
fan
things.
of no longer Firestone.
Yeah, so if you want to share those images, we're actively working against the Firestonian threat in our nation.
Yeah, something like that. To be frank, I think the government needs to do a better job of the state guard. I got
Well,
I got
we
hazed.
just got hundreds of people. We just
I
got
just,
hundreds
I
of
just
people.
got hazed. I got forced into a draft and hazed
Well, you're a
because-
conscript. That's what you get.
because
That's what happened in Vietnam.
no,
That's
hold
what
on,
happened in
listen,
Vietnam.
listen. This little asshole, not gonna say who, this little bitch state's guardsman, lied and said that I was playing Minecraft during the PowerPoint that was being played.
Yo, what's
There's
going
a load of bullshit.
on? Is there like an
You know what they made me do? I had to run
What?
7 laps around their
Is there
stupid,
an interview?
stinky parade deck.
Definitely an interview, big bros.
Absolutely
Oh,
insane.
So you were drafted into war and forced to do physical training.
After a lie, I would have been fine with physical training
Definitely a
as just
good old
PT.
interview.
But after a lie, that's outrageous.
Are you telling the people of the state that are listening that you are too out of shape to do PT? Are
Yeah,
you
shut
telling
your
them
fat
that
ass
you
up.
struggled to
Shut your
complete
fat
basic,
ass up.
basic PT?
Shut your fat ass up.
I think I'm going to.
You know what? Follow in your
I'm gonna
governor's
recommend that they
footsteps
give
and go
you
get a
remedial
McFlurry, you
PT.
fat bitch. Follow your governor's footsteps and go get a fucking McFlurry. Don't talk to me.
Are there any McDonald's open in Melrose that I can go to?
We got a
There's a
we got
McDonald's
a
in
Ghoul
Melrose.
burger, bruh. We got a Ghoul burger. Go get at that.
You guys got a
Yep.
Whataburger?
Nah, Ghoul burger. Everything about that state's about me. Not true, but you know. All right, well, I think Lucas has been embarrassed enough today. One about his weight, just like Missy Pro 2 refuses to answer what his BMI is, and
Is it
frankly,
Misty?
huh? What?
Isn't Misty a girl?
Something like
Sir?
that.
Your car is illegally parked.
Mr.
Um,
Taken, can you do a BMI reveal for the
you gotta
viewers of the state
legally
right now?
talking.
You want like a
Yeah.
physique reveal? I revealed it to PPD not too long
Ew.
ago.
Yeah, what's your height and weight, please, Mr.
You're
Mr.
gonna
I'm
rob
6'4", I
some
weigh
cow.
210.
Illegally
I'm
parked,
actually
you'll be
bulking right
cited
now,
if
so
you
I'm
do
probably
not
around like
fix it, sir.
215, 220. I end my
Just
bulk
get out.
on Thursday of this
Leave.
week, so we'll be cutting back down to roughly 190 to low 200s. Nothing over 210, of course. My
Very
comfort
nice.
weight, 201, 202. Lowest I've ever been was 180, and like I cut for nearly like 3 months, which was not good. Other than that, I mean, it's it's not that bad. Pretty fun. I'd recommend that all of you people out there, if you're overweight like Manager Morel over here, that you go watch a
I'm
Sam
6'1",
Sulek video.
160.
Holy shit, you're anorexic. I would recommend you guys
Dude,
go watch. I'd recommend you go watch a Sam Sulek video and get some inspiration. But not Alex Eubanks. That guy's a weirdo. That guy's a weirdo. All right, guys. Lucas, do you have anything else to say? Anything else to exclaim about your EMI?
I'm just waiting for when Matrix Ock does a BMI reveal. People of the state. That's gonna be interesting.
Can we get a Senate Judicial Committee
The
investigation into
door
that?
is locked,
His
sir.
BMI?
Can we get a committee on Mr. Matrix Ock's physique established? That will be done expeditiously.
say,
I think
Is
Matrix
that
is a
something
hot
that people
bot.
actually? Could you guys get a poll? Could you guys get a poll going in the Ridgeway at War stream asking if we should do a Matrix BMI reveal committee?
Actually, I think we need to do a poll. Who's most likely buffer? General Ghoul or badass Manager Morale? Let's get it. Let's get that. Wrong poll. This guy took forever.
There you go.
I'm
Matrix
voting.
BMI.
I'm voting yes on it though. Somebody said no. We have a Matrix sympathizer in chat. Boy,
Dude, we have Matrix sympathizers who don't want to learn Matrix Ock's body mass index. It's pretty sad.
60 to 40 now. Some Matrix sympathizers in chat. Oh my God, Stanley Lapson's in the crowd just up like Olivia Pope. Hope you're proud of it. I do
Well,
applaud
looks like
Mr. I
people-
do I do applaud Mr. Lapson on getting the Canadian or what's the Canadian governor, Firestone governor, Canadian law into games so he can get assassinated by somebody. I thought that was funny. Kudos off to this guy. But
Alright. You're not taking it. You should hop on Gartic telephone right now in this chat.
what time is it,
People
man?
would like to see what happens.
I think it's my time to go get drunk. I think that's right around the time to go get
I think you're
mad.
pussying out. You're pussying out.
Pissing out of being racist on the blocks. Nice, dude.
Yeah. Mr. Taken does not have the personal integrity and character to be racist. It's very sad. Very sad. The people of the
Yeah,
state
sorry,
deserve
I'm not
better
a-
from the PPD chief.
I'm not a fucking PPD chief. I never was. I was never even deputy chief. Like the max I mean was captain.
The people of Melrose deserve better. The people of the state of Melrose deserve better, Taken.
The people of Broadview need a better fucking chief judge. Fuck off.
They shut down the judiciary in Broadview, dude. They
Yeah,
shut
I
down
know,
the
a bunch
government.
of
in Broadview.
shitters. Bunch of shitters over there.
I know, right?
I'm not underage, Lapson. It's okay. Unlike you and your munch outfit like Olivia Pope. Alright, guys, well, this has been
Munch is
the.
actually trend love. Little known fact.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that one. Wait, tell me, wait, which munch? Letter munch or Olivia Pope Trendlove munch? Like when he dresses up
Both
like
of
Ice
them.
Spice. Yeah, whatever, dumbass. Alright, guys. This has been The Taken on the Palmer Times. Thank you all for showing up. I'm gonna go play Gartic Phone and go get drunk, so everybody have a good night. We'll catch you next time. Let's hope they get a Matrix BMI committee, am I right? Alright, bye, Timbo.
This has been the Ridgeway Review on the Palmer Times, hosted by Sire Mazakine. Make sure to tune into the Ridgeway Review next week to get a recap on all possible upcoming news.